making his second appearance on Fellowship of the Ring. Now recurring guest, Jesper. I think this just means we're going to have to make this an annual thing here. We've got now firmly Minnesota Wild goaltender, Jesper Wallstedt. Welcome back, buddy.
Thank you very much.
I think we had you on when they had last time. We always ask guests their nerd itch or what's their kind of favorite thing off the ice. And I was wondering now, I talked to you before, you said you guys play a lot of like Call of Duty together, I guess, as a team. Like, take me through kind of how that works in terms of you're on computers together, like at night sometimes. Like, how does that kind of all play out?
Yeah, no, we, especially all the Swedes, try to play some video games together. Me and Gus plays Counter-Strike too, a little bit with Kirill as well. Broads jumps in sometimes, and then Jojo, Suki, Ecker, and Gus and me sometimes play COD as well. More so last year, haven't been a lot of gaming this year. But yeah, we try to play a lot of different games. It's fun.
So you guys are all on your own kind of computers at home? Like, are you guys able to talk to each other a lot? Like, trash talk and stuff like that, or like?
Yeah, no. Everyone owns a computer at home. Some guys play on controller, some guys play on keyboard and mouse. But yeah, it could get heated pretty quick. There's high expectations there as well, like just like in hockey. So if guys are not performing, they'll hear about it.
How do you guys feel about that, Jesper? I always get different opinions on this because I'm not the biggest gamer. I was back when I was in college, but like a lot of my friends still are very into it, and there's a lot of debate between whether or not like using keyboard and mouse versus controller is fair.
Yeah, especially in games where you get the aim assist with the controller, I do not think it's fair. I'm a keyboard and mouse player. I've always played keyboard and mouse since I was 8 years old, probably. So I think when I play COD and games like that, and I play against players that use the controllers, obviously they have way better aim than I do. So I think that's cheating for sure. But then obviously when they try to come over and play keyboard and mouse in games that I play, then becomes pretty difficult for them. So no, I hate the aim assisting. I want it to be pure skill.
What's the power rankings? Top three players, top three gamers in those either Counter-Strike or on Call of Duty?
I'd say in Call of Duty, Jojo is is the best. Him and Suki and Ecker, I think, plays the most. They're pretty good. And then in Counter-Strike, obviously, I've played a lot of CS. So I'd give myself that one. And I played CS since I was 10. I probably have close to 9,000 or 10,000 hours in CS. So I have the highest rank. I'm the highest level. So that's my game of choice.
We'll get to some fan questions towards the end, but number one fan question I've received for you is, where did the celly come from? The celebration that's now all over the internet. You know, I'm speaking of good shot. You're pointing a good shot at the rafters there. Like, I saw it in Iowa last year once at least. So where did kind of they originate from?
I think it started in Iowa, that shootout win we had there, I think once or so. And then this year, I guess it kind of came from nowhere. We won that shootout game against LA, and I did that celly, and then when we scored that empty net goal, and I had my first shot out of the season, I kind of just pointed the hand up in the air, celebrating. It felt good. It was a lot of emotions, and then the pump is just kind of something excited that just comes out of nowhere. But I don't know. It's just me try to be myself and enjoy the time that it is right now, and we're having a lot of fun doing it.
A lot of good reason for you to be, excited and show emotion. A heck of a start for you this season. Just like, how gratifying is it for you? As an athlete, as a player, you have a year you were frustrated with last year, to come in here and prove in what you've been doing most of your career. Like, how gratifying is it for you? And I'm sure you had some doubters there along the way the last 12 months.
A couple of them.
This interview is brought to you by our friends at Waggle. Waggle is a golf term, so their origin is obvious. But, like you and I, their roots extend well beyond the tee box. Waggle is rooted in early mornings on the water and late nights around the campfire, in lacing up the skates, and in casting a line. These hobbies and passions are what inspire their team daily to create apparel that makes you say, wow, this was made for me. Because, really, it was. Waggle's biggest sale of the year is live right now. Hats, polos, pants, shorts, jackets, flannels, socks, everything is 30% off. We pulled together a list of our all-time favorite products, so make sure you shop the link in the description.
Obviously, when you're struggling as well, you read a lot of stuff about yourself. It becomes and you're like, oh, it wasn't my fault. Oh, this guy is thinking I'm shit. Oh, I'm a bust. Oh, everything. Oh, it's not my fault. It's everyone else's fault. But then you kind of get into that bad cycle. But then obviously when you're succeeding now, it's like, okay, you're just laughing at all the comments you've got throughout the way. You're like, oh, you didn't think I was gonna get here. You all of you guys thought I was a bust already after one bad year out of my whole career. So in that way, it feels kind of good to prove just a little bit, even though it's a small sample size, and I've only played 7 games now. And there's a lot of hockey left. But it feels good in the beginning now to kind of point the middle finger back a little bit and just try to get on a roll.
Is that what the point is in the celebration? The middle finger out to the haters?
It could have been, but no, it's not.
Do you have like a hit list going? Like, do you have like a couple of guys you're like, yeah, you've said a lot of mean things about me. Suck it.
I definitely know a couple on Twitter that's not my favorite supporters, and it's kind of fun looking back now. And now apparently from nowhere they're loving me. So it's kind of fun how the tide changes pretty quick.
Those tweets got deleted, huh?
Yeah, and you look back and he said that a year ago, and now apparently I'm his favorite player. So no, it's fun to see how fast it can change, and yeah, it's fun to read now. Now I'm just laughing at it.
I'm sure you saw, like, before Jimmy Fallon, the talk show host, they have like mean tweets that people, celebrities read mean tweets about themselves. You know, you're about to do that with you after the end of this season when you guys
that would be very fun.
Go on a run here. You said too to me, like, you know, it wasn't the game plan that needed to be changed for you. Like, a lot of it was kind of mental. Like, how would you describe? Like, you didn't just relearn how to play goalie this year. Like, you've had a lot of great seasons before this. Like, how would you describe like the biggest change in terms of what's led to this kind of consistent success so far?
I think I've always known that I've always come into to camp in good shape. I've trusted that I've always improved by every year. I know I've had 4 good camps now. So the beginning of the year and what I've done over the summers has always been something uncomfortable that I know I'm doing in the right way. Obviously, I have to get faster and stronger, and I'm still young, so I still can improve in everything. But I know what I've been doing is something that's good. I feel confident over when I go back home and when I come back that I'm in good shape. So that gives you confidence. I think all I kind of needed was just a fresh start. The lead last year, don't think too much about that. Like I've said, and like you said, my game plan I've always felt is some of my strengths. I know I play a solid game, and I like the way I play goalie. And then obviously there's always small tweak that you can adjust or you can get better at. But for me, it was mostly just get away from it, get a reset, and then just build that excitement to get back for a new season and start it off in a better way.
And you say it like so simply there, like, yeah, I just brush it off. I don't think about last year. But like, that's hard, man. Like, we had you on last year when you were in the thick of it, and you were like really candorous and talked about like things you could do better, but things that you were frustrated with. Like, how hard is it? Like, what is the process of actually putting last year behind you?
Yeah, it's a lot, and I think it's different for everyone. For me, it was just kind of okay, get away from hockey right away. As soon as I got back home, I didn't watch any hockey up until like the game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I wanted to see who won the cup. That was essentially it. Otherwise, I didn't want to know anything about hockey. I wanted to get away from it. Went on a vacation, but then you kind of start the process to, okay, what kind of went wrong? Where where do I have to improve and where do I have to get better? And especially for me, it was mentally like where do I have to get stronger mentally to when we get back in this situation, or if that happen again, or because essentially it was a lot of stuff that I couldn't do anything about. It was mostly stuff that I had no effect in. Uh, that kind of triggered me to get into a bad loop of a mental game. So okay, that's probably gonna happen sometimes, sometime again. And what can I do to uh, when I get back there? What could I do to improve in that way? And then just go through a lot of stuff throughout the summer, and then okay, now we've done that. Let's open a new page and look forward to next season. Start to get excited again to play hockey. Um, Build that excitement throughout the summer. To when you get back, you're in a good place mentally and shape wise.
You mentioned notes, and it was interesting when I talked to you before camp. You said that you, after you shut it down in the summertime, you came back and you kind of looked at your notebook or notes kind of on last season. Like, you take a notebook during the season on starts or moments or a journal, or is it mostly like mental notes of like, this is how I felt then, this is how I should feel?
No, last year I actually got a little small. I don't know if I have it with me right now, but I got a small notebook from Freddie Chabot with the Wild logo on. Before I don't know if it was last year or the year before. But during last year, especially when we were on the road, I started to just put down one small page, and the book was just like this big. So a page is essentially like 5 or 6 sentences.
Mhm.
So put down a couple sentences of what my feeling was throughout the game. Then I started doing that during some of the games, and obviously a lot of them were pretty negative because I wasn't succeeding a lot. Um, so I looked through that book a little bit, like, okay, shit, I was not in a good headspace. And obviously you learn that looking back towards that, because when you're in that moment, it's like usually you look at a tunnel where there's a bright spot at the end of the tunnel. But for me, there was no bright spot. It was just a dark tunnel. So that was the feeling I had throughout the last year. And then you kind of get another perspective from it when you're in the summer, where it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad, but you kind of recreate those feelings, and you kind of go through them and process them.
And see, I'm sure the notebooks is pretty a lot more positive right now, right? The first few weeks, you have a
Yeah,
little more.
I haven't typed or written anything in it yet, but yeah, it's been way better.
One of the things that Heinz mentions about you too is such a mature level of your approach, both in how you entered camp and also your practice habits. Like Freddie said, you're on every puck. Like, and I was wondering, like, I know you've always worked hard, but has there been a difference about way you prepare and practice now, or maybe it's a flurry effect watching him all the time, or like how you kind of describe kind of? It seems like your practice habits have elevated, I guess, in the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
I would especially say since my first year in Iowa. I think when I came over from the SHL, I was always very talented. I was very far ahead, and like I didn't care so much about practice. I thought as long as I uh, competed when it matters. I've always loved competing uh, when you play for something. Like there has to almost be a prize or a reward for me to like really get into it when I was just a little younger. So like in practice in Sweden, we'd always say, okay, whatever goalie lets in the least goals during practice, we doesn't have to skate, and the other guy has to skate. Well, that was kind of like the carrot for me when I was young, the motivated there. And then I got to the AHL, and I was there's so many games, and I kind of thought, okay, if as long as I play good, practice is so maybe. But then I kind of learned those habits. I thought my second year was really good. I think Bacher in Iowa, the goalie coach there, was always pushing me to get better in practice. So I thought last year as well, even that year, my practice habits was always very good. I thought I was working really, really hard, maybe even too hard, just to try to get out of it. But like I said many times, it was all mental. It didn't matter how hard I was pushing myself in practice. Like I got to games, and there was like it didn't matter really. My head was just not there. So even getting into camp now, I was confident in my practice. Obviously, now you get to the NHL, it's even a little bit more fun in practice. You get Kirill, you get Ecker, and all these guys that are just going to score on everything if they could. And that it makes it fun to save them as well. Like you make a glove save on Kirill's shot. Obviously, you're gonna be happy. Like you're laughing, and you're like, "Oh, Kirill, look, I got it. I have it right here." And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4 rebounds from Eki, and he's almost pushing you into the net, and you're still saving the puck. Obviously, I'll give him some shit. And like, okay, I got it, got you this time. But then he comes in and scores, and the next one, oh, I should have saved that one. So the internal competition that is within our team, I feel like is something that makes us all better, because it's fun in practice, and we kind of push each other.
You talk about competition, and Gus had a shutout the other night in Pittsburgh, and he said the first thing is like about Jesper, like, this is the guy I'm competing with, man. If I don't play well, he's at the net, and so I think it's got to be a fun thing between you two. You have a good relationship with each other. Just what's that dynamic like when both of you guys are kind of on like you have been, and like it seems like you guys have a pretty good kind of friendly competition going to each other.
Zamboni's on 7th Restaurant and Bar at 174 West 7th Street, right across the street from Grand Casino Arena. We're going to keep calling it the X. More than just your go-to spot before, during, and after all your favorite downtown events, Zamboni's on 7th is now your spot for late night downtown eats. On game days, event days, and plain old regular days, Tuesday through Saturday. Zamboni's on 7th is now serving their delicious tavern-style pizza, as well as fried specialties late into the night. Check out their menu online at zambonison7th.com, or stop by for a few beers, cocktails, or sodas and dig in. Zamboni's on 7th, before, during, and after. Way after.
Yeah, no, we push each other every day, but we're also like the biggest supporter to each other. As soon as we're in practice, both guys want to make every save, but as soon as we're playing a game, we're on the same team. Like, I'm gonna give him my full support when he's playing, and he's obviously doing the same when I'm playing. Because it is a team sport. We both want to play, but we also both want to win. We want to see our team succeed. And I think we have a really good balance in that, with kind of just like, okay, if both goalies are hot, obviously our team is going to have a really good chance at winning. And for myself, I think as well, if I can play games, but I can also get good practice and development when Gus is playing, I think that's just a win-win right now.
Where did the friendship develop with you guys? I know you knew each other before, and then like you said, this camp you guys played a lot of golf together, like that. Like, where do you kind of start to see it turn to where like, hey, we become more than just teammates, or I knew each other a little bit? Like, seemed like you guys had a little bit more of a bond, I guess, this year.
Yeah, I think overall we have a lot of similar interests. We both like golf, we both like video games, and we're goalies, and we've both been in Luleå. We're both from Sweden. Like, we have a lot of similarities, which we can probably connect on, and I just think we're having a lot of fun together. we're pushing each other, but we're also we're laughing and enjoying the moment. Even though it's middle of the season, we could still kind of stop the time and still remember to have fun. But I think that's something that comes from him being with Fleury, and I've seen Fleury like the way he was always having fun. But I think that's kind of something that we uh, try to remind ourselves, like, even though, okay, right now we're having a lot of success, so it's obviously easier. But maybe when it gets to the tougher times, that we could slow down and think, okay, we're still playing hockey for a living. It's pretty good.
Gus is an interesting dude where he like during games he thinks about like animals starting with letter A to Z, right? His interesting mental gymnastics he does. Like, what is your
Yeah.
headspace like during a game? What is your headspace in a game when you don't see a shot for 10 minutes or in between? What are your mental things you do, or do you just kind of like listen to music or zone out, or what's your headspace like during a game?
I just want complete silence in my head.
Mhm.
I think that's what best for me. I usually tell the story that when I was young, my dad usually always after games asked me what I thought about when I was playing, and always the best games I always had, I couldn't remember what I thought about during the game, and the games where I wasn't as good, I had, oh, maybe I was thinking about this and that, but always when my best games were, it was nothing in my head. So I try to just silence everything, just look at the puck and then like kind of focus on it, and you kind of just zone in. And obviously he has his ways as well. It's pretty fun. Recently, it's been the video game League of Legends. We're together trying to name every champion from letter A to Z in order. So
Wow.
that's been our thing right now. So he's always coming up with pretty fun stuff. I'm maybe a little bit more simple.
You brought up Flurry, and I watched the Becoming Wild episode of last year where you show him back at home. There's 3 jerseys on your wall, one from your draft, one from your debut, and then there's a jersey of Marc-Andre Fleury on the wall that's signed. Like, take us through, like, you as a rookie getting called up and deciding, hey, I'm going to go to the locker room and ask him for a signed jersey, and kind of like his impact.
Yeah, it was. I remember I did it that year when he said he was going to quit as well, and then obviously he came back for another year. But then I was just like, okay, this is my chance. Obviously, this is Marc-Andre Fleury, and having a signed jersey is something that everyone wants from him, and myself included. Obviously, it's like, okay, is it a little weird being kind of his teammate, come call up guy, come ask for a signature? But no, it was just something that had to be done. I would be pissed at myself if I didn't.
What was the biggest influence on you? What's been the biggest impact he's made on you, even only a couple years you were around him?
I think getting back to that, it's supposed to be a lot of fun, and just like seeing him in practice every day. He threw his stick at trying to make saves, and he was there, like he never gave up on plays. And even though he let in goals, he was laughing either way because he gave it all he could, and he'd show up after games he lost, and he was still happy, ready to go for a new day. Like, he always reminded everyone that it's a privilege of playing in the NHL and doing your whole hobby as work. And then obviously there's a bunch of stuff with Flower, but I think that's the one that kind of that stands out to you, that okay, he's always here and he's always smiling. It seems like he's always having a good day, and it's a great day to play hockey.
Has anyone on the team taken up the torch of the prankster, or is everyone just like safe now?
For now, it seems like everyone's safe. I haven't seen anything yet, so I guess we'll see.
A few fan questions before we get your last one. Do you like the Wall in St. Paul nickname? And is there going to be like a break at all on your helmet, new mask design?
I don't know. Yeah, it's fun. I don't mind when fans are saying it and so on. It gets a little bit annoying when the teammates are saying it. I'm like, just come on, I don't have to. But yeah, when it's out in the community and the fans are using it, I think it's fine. I think it's good. But I wouldn't. I don't. I'm not the happiest guy when the teammates are using it.
The coolest off ice moment on a road trip for you so far? I know you've been to cool cities like New York and DC and Philly. Like, coolest thing you did on a road trip so far?
Wow, I don't know. I think I'm pretty boring usually. I get to all these cities and I enjoy laying in my bed in my hotel room. Like I'm that guy that's like, okay, you want to do something? I'm like, nah, I'm fine. Uh, Obviously, I think seeing Vegas for the first time when we did that was cool. Uh, Strolling around on Manhattan in New York is pretty sick. But I don't know yet if I have anything special off ice. I guess they'll come.
Rookie dinner yet? Have you guys had the rookie dinner or no? Is that later in the
No,
season?
have not. So we'll see when that comes.
Last one for me, and then Scott has one before we wrap it up. Just fan wanted to ask about in the shootouts. Like, do you have a certain thing you're thinking about, or do you have like a notebook with like this guy's gonna shoot it like this, or like is it more instinct? Like, how do you describe your headspace in like in a shootout?
I think if there's a player that does the exact same move a lot of the time, I'd like to know. I'd like to see that before. Otherwise, I've told Freddie like I just want to go out and read the play. I want to see what I see on the ice. I want to feel and then just make the read out of it. I think for me, the most important for me is that I match kind of my speed with their speed. I always try to wait for them to come in and see kind of, okay, is this guy coming in hot or is he kind of slowing down, or what's, as long as my momentum is kind of the same as their momentum, I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. But otherwise, it's just kind of seeing what you're seeing out there, read what the player is doing, and then just execute from there.
In practices, like who do you see that's working on shootout moves that like is sneaky good that maybe fans haven't seen it from yet?
Oh, good question. The guy who always scores for me is Ben Jones.
Really?
He scores a lot on me in practice. Probably from knowing me last year too in Iowa, helps him. But his shot to me is really hard to read for some reason, and I don't know if it's the same for Gus. Probably Gus saves every shot that he takes, but I just struggle. And Ryan Hartman, obviously, he scores. Him and Ben, I think, scores the most in practice. It's just something with their release. You just don't get a lot of information, or you get too much misinformation, so you pick up on that. But yeah, when every time I got into camp every year, Ryan Hartman always scored, and I just couldn't get my hand around it, like, or my head around it. I'm like, what am I doing wrong with this guy? Like, okay, it looks like he's going low. I'm cheating low, and he scores high, and I'm like, come on, what? How? And then I cheat high, and he scores low, and I'm like, come on, not again. He always seemed to find a thing on me, and even during this year's training camp. Now we were getting into the season, kind of picking it up a little bit more, but he's pretty good. Otherwise, Suk is obviously sneaky in shootout. Bolts always try to make you do the first move, and then he'll go the other way and score. I like after the like the pre-game skate, or the warm-up skates during the games, when we do shootouts at the end. Always the backup goalie do with Suki and Hartman and Bolts, and it's always fun to play around with those guys.
Nice. All right. Well, we will wrap like we do every week. Now, I know, Jesper, we already did this with you once, so I've got a twist on it, but we have our Waggle Golf question. Final question, brought to you as always by our good friends at Waggle Golf. First, make sure you head over to getyourwaggleon.com, throw in promo code SP10 to take 10% off your entire order. no promo codes right now because site-wide 30% off everything for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, hats, polos, quarter zips, hoodies, sweaters, you name it. Jesper, we've got the second year now running of Amazon's Face Off series, reality show following NHL players. I want you to give me 4 players. I don't care if they're current Wild teammates, guys you played with in Iowa, or countrymen or guys that you're just curious about across the league. I want 4 guys that you think would be fun to see in that series next year.
I'm gonna be biased on the first one and obviously see what Henrik Lundqvist does nowadays. I'd love to be kind of behind the scenes on what his life is like right now. And then I'd like to see what Kirill does too. I'd kind of like to see what he does off ice or like outside of hockey. Obviously, I know he plays video games with us sometimes, but what's his life like?
So just set up a live stream at Billy Sushi, pretty much.
Yeah, probably. I guess. Otherwise, a couple more guys. Well, like guys have I played with. I don't know. It was hard to get 4.
Give me one more.
One more.
Because I'll help you stall and think. Because I want to say, like, honestly, I'd want to see you on a series like that. If I'm being honest,
that'd be a pretty slow day.
Not a road trip. Definitely not just having an ISO cam of you just taking a nap.
No, but it would be the same at home. I come home and I play video games and then I go to bed.
You know what?
No.
Doing a full like stream though of just like what it's like with you guys all playing, whether it's Counter-Strike or Call of Duty, like that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I always thought I one of my dreams when I was young, if I didn't want to play hockey, was to be a Twitch streamer, a live streamer, play video games for a living and just stream it.
Off season, just play for the rocker, maybe.
I don't know, but I've always thought about it too. Like, should I? Because I'm very technical and everything. Obviously, I could set up to stream. I'm like, should I do a live stream? Would anyone come in and watch? And then I'm like,
yes.
Would guys watch me play CS for 4 or 5 hours? Maybe that'd be fun. But no, probably Vasilevsky in Tampa would be my last one.
Okay.
I think that'd be cool. Obviously, I'm a goalie and I like goalies a little bit more. And he seems to live a cool lifestyle, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again for joining us on your plentiful off time in the bag. So I appreciate it, and we'll catch up with you at the rink soon. But thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys.